Joe Mixon, running back of the Cincinnati Bengals, and he's into the second round of your fantasy football drafts, and more than likely, if you want him, that's where you're going to take him because he won't last any longer than that. But finally, he's out from the handcuffs that were Marvin Lewis in this offense. But does he really get a workhorse-type volume in Cincinnati? There's some reports coming out, but it's coach speak right now. The part that really makes me question is they spent some draft picks on some very talented running backs, Travion Williams and Rodney Anderson. And we already know they still have Gio Bernard in this backfield. What do they really plan on doing with Joe Mixon? Is he going to get an increased workload this year? Is he going to get a slight bump in volume? Because if he does, the guy could easily be an RB1 in most fantasy football leagues. Last season, he had 237 carries, finished with 1,168 yards and 8 touchdowns, added another 43 receptions, 296 yards and 1 touchdown through the air. He finished as running back 10 in fantasy football, but like I said, you're going to have to take him in the second round. He's not going to wait any longer than if he does, he's a steal. The problem is I really like to have him as my RB2 because I really kind of have some questions on what his usage is going to be here in 2019. So if that's the case, if I'm going to take Joe Mixon and I want him to be my RB2 and you have to take him in the second round, that means you need to go RB in the first round also. If you do get one of the top stud running backs and you go to the turn there in the second round and Joe Mixon is sitting there, you could potentially have 2 RB1s. That's what I would prefer. That's what I would be looking for in fantasy football drafts. That would almost guarantee you close to 20 touches a week from each player, giving you right there off the bat with your first 2 picks, almost 40 touches a week. That's what I'm trying to look for. That's what would be, something very beneficial, especially when it comes to Joe Mixon. With those question marks, if you have that solid running back there before him, it kind of takes away a little bit of that risk in case maybe he only does go out there and get you 15 to 17 touches a week. At least, you still have that solid stud ahead of him. And on weeks where he does perform like an RB1, more than likely you're going to win that matchup.